MLB.com is the most expensive app I have on my phone, $15, and I can honestly say that I don't know anyone that has this app that doesn't think that that $15 was well spent. Just an amazing amount of information. It's a little overwhelming to think about. So you've got your information about upcoming games, you've got box scores and in-progress stuff. So this is actually telling me live what's happening, a summary of the game with little kind of one-line stories like someone's blogging. You've got news about what's going on with the game, and you can organize that by team. I mean, they've done a lot of the work for an iPad app, and so this seems to be a real estate issue, and it also seems to be, again, how do videos fit in. And then one thing, I'll say this in a few minutes because it's something I care about, is there's just a lot of stuff on this screen, and I really want to be able to see information about my team more easily than having to go forward and back. And so this is the kind of typical iPhone swiping that I'm hoping the iPad maybe gets away from. So I'm looking at this app, and I'm not even sure where to begin. MLB really has a ton of stuff, and I don't know what they're going to do on the iPad. I'm sure it'll be great. This is one of my favorite apps. $15, worth it. I mean, I guess one question is this a case where at least some of this, just bigger is better? Where, I mean, like I'm looking at this, and this is an enormous amount of information to take in, even for my kind of digital eyes. So, I mean, what kind of makes you decide when to just make it bigger and when to start rearranging and reaggregating and all that?
Well, really, if you just make all this stuff bigger, I think it might still look kind of clunky.
Okay.
You know?
Just because there's so much stuff?
Yeah, you know, if you just make your, you know, click to the next screen bigger, I mean, it's just going to look weird, you know?
Sure.
So probably what I would do is I would just migrate this screen to take up a portion. So rather than try to redesign where all of this information goes, just make it take up a portion of the screen. And you kind of see what I mean here. So let's make it take up this. So let's just move all of this.
Right, sure.
Right
Wholesale
here.
over. Okay,
Yeah.
so that's the whole summary pane.
Right, so yeah, now whenever you click on
like my team,
your Rangers score,
right,
it's going to take you to a different screen, correct?
Right.
So here, let's get our Texas Rangers. And when you click here, it's just going to pull all your information here. So now you can click through the same.
We've done that a lot. It's taking kind of two
information.
panes and making it.
Right, yeah. It's the same information here, but rather than clicking to another screen.
Right.
So if you wanted to switch a game, you have to go back to the original screen and then go to your new. So now, boom, you can quick hit.
So you get better navigation.
You can quick hit.
So then, do you think this box score, like mine has this box score at the bottom, it happens to not be a team I care much about because my team isn't playing. Does that go over here and you don't need that as much? Because I could just pick the one I want?
Sure, yeah.
I mean, this has always bugged me because it rotates, which is cool, but I'm not that much of a baseball homer.
Yeah,
so
yeah. If you wanted to keep it for some reason and not
configurability,
put the box sport, I mean.
Now that's nice going across.
Yeah, you can go all the way across the bottom.
Because it just gets lost for me. Yeah. In all the rest.
Yeah, you still need to leave some room for your navigation because you still have, you know, your news, your standings,
right,
and then your videos. They do a really nice job of integrating video into their app.
Right. And do you think that's another case where? So is there any way to zoom in on this game? Like if I say this is great, but I really want all the video about the Rangers, I want.
Sure, you know.
Maybe there's a button there or something.
Yeah, let's add an icon. More information about this game.
Okay.
Click it. You know, let's kind of draw it out, see what that would look like as well.
Because they have all the information I want, but like I said, you're right. The iPhone makes it a navigation.
Right. Yeah.
Challenge at times.
So as you know, let's say you're stuck at a baby shower. You know, your wife pulled you to a baby shower. What do you want to know while you're following a game?
Right.
You know, obviously you want to know the score and you know how the game's going. So here's your by team.
Okay, so that's the line.
Here's your 9 innings. You know,
yep,
with your finals, whatnot.
Yep. See, I want this. I love. I mean, you know, it's eye candy.
Game situations.
But I want it a little bit bigger.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So let's get.
Especially if I'm pretending to pay attention at the baby shower.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So let's get your game information.
Yeah.
You know, because they have this right now.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's just much smaller.
Oh yeah.
So now, you know, you can even.
So this starts to approach the desktop again.
You can even put the names of who's on first, who's on second, what's on second. So maybe even your fielders, who's in the field, who's on the mound, who's catching, whatnot.
Right.
You have room to give more detail now.
Okay.
And not get lost in wait, what's connected where. You can spread things out.
So it's making it bigger, but it's also like adding resolution or information.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. And then I think we did it with the Score Center app. I want to click on a player and I want to see how he's doing that game. So
which seems like the kind of thing MLB would do.
Yeah. I mean, because they have all of the information in the app. Again, it's just information design.
Right.
How is it being presented, and what's the best experience for the user, the person that makes it as easy to use, and they don't want to be frustrating, make it very efficient.
Okay. Yeah, I definitely want to see this one. So we won't mock it all up, but let's mock up. I like this screen. I want to see that screen because I'm always looking at like who's on first.
Right.
So cool. So MLB, we were going to look at the end game.
Right.
Focus on that.
Yeah. So you're going to start off with a box score. That's kind of standard fare.
Stock.
Yeah. Everyone wants the box score. Another thing that MLB's app does is kind of some in-game situations.
Yeah, and I wanted that bigger, so this is already...
So right now on the current iPhone app, it's very stripped down. I mean, you only have the base indicators or whatnot. Right. So here, since you have some more real estate, you can even put the name of the player on second, or who's pitching, who's batting, and you can extrapolate this out. You can put who's in the outfield. I'd like to see even a button that says, show me just the offense or just the defense.
Oh, I see, yep.
That would be nice, so you don't have, 12, 13, 14 names on the screen at the same time. So, and a simple lineup, just so you can kind of see who's on deck, who's coming up, who's in the hole. So that'd be nice.
Okay, now get a lot of empty space, so what?
Right, yeah. This is an example of not really knowing exactly what. So I'll work with a developer to say, hey, here's some ideas that I have. So a couple things, standings.
Okay. Now those, I can see those are pulled right off the iPhone app.
Right, just pulled it straight off. I didn't want to spend too much time on it because I haven't talked with a developer.
Right.
So it's just a straight screenshot. So, I'm interested in, and these could even be different tabs. So it's not just this taking up this real estate the whole time. I can switch from tabs. So standings, the one could be video. Now
this looks like the iPhone, but did you just size that up? Is that basically what?
I just blew it up, and it does kind of look clunky to me right now. So I would probably optimize it for the iPad as well. But again, for the sake of the comp, I didn't feel like spending an hour and a half.
So minimal time, just enough to give you the idea.
Yeah, it gets the idea across.
Okay.
Let's clear this out of the way.
Now this is from Score Center that we did, right?
Yeah. As a designer, I love using iPhone apps. I'll be using my iPad, obviously. I'm going to know the different types of apps that I like and that I enjoy. So why not bring a version of that functionality into apps that I'm a part of? So I just it's a straight ripoff. And now you'd want to customize it for MLB. You don't want Tony Romo when Chipper Jones is up to bat. So. But yeah, you look for places for inspiration and just take elements in one place if you're working on them and just drop them in, so you're not spending time on a comp when you don't really need to.
Which is code, and we do the same thing on the code side, so that makes perfect sense.
Cool. Yeah, and this is.
That's the chat window that Joe wanted.
The chat window too. Just resize it.
Okay.
So.
And then I assume whether you're the developer or someone else is the developer, if you decide on that, then you would probably polish it up more.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Okay.
Got to make it look good.
Right.
So.
Okay. I think that makes sense. The reuse part is interesting because I think my initial instinct would have been, oh no, I've used that, don't use that again. But you're saying just the opposite.
Yeah, you probably wouldn't want to make it look the exact same, but to get the idea across and to get everyone's kind of mind on the same track.
Right, and that looks, the layout of that is surprisingly good for just having tossed in a couple of other elements and resized them.
Yep.
So I think the big takeaway with MLB.com is knowing the space you're going into. So in our case, we've already looked at the ESPN Score Center, and so we actually pulled in elements of that into MLB. And obviously you've got to customize those, but if you're trying to compete in a space like the iPad or the iPhone that's crowded, you need to know what else is there. And often one of the best things you can do is take existing features and not only make them look different, but maybe make them behave better. So spend some time getting familiar with the other apps that you're competing with, and then use that knowledge to your benefit.